Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. Many of you were dismayed when the Bucs didn't select a linebacker in the 2025 NFL Draft, but help is on the way at the position in 2026, and maybe even this year before the trade deadline. The 2026 linebacker draft class is absolutely loaded, which will be a stark contrast to the 2025 class, which was incredibly weak. I've got some names of some college football linebackers that you're going to need to know when it comes to next year's draft, and a few possible options that the Bucs could trade for with the trade deadline approaching in just 2 weeks in this week's Pewter Pulse. But first, a reminder, hit the thumbs up button on this video, give it a like. Also, please leave a comment. I love reading your comments. When you do those two things, it helps us with the YouTube algorithm, gets us in front of more awesome Bucs fans like you. Also, head over to Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button. We're on the way to 22,000 subscribers thanks to you. And please visit pewterreport.com for your game coverage, injury news, roster moves, and game analysis. All right, on to today's Pewter Pulse. 35-year-old Lavonte David is banged up right now. He's got rib and knee injuries. And while SirVocea Dennis has remained healthy so far, the Bucs only have one veteran backup linebacker in Deion Jones. It's thin at the position after that, as Tampa Bay has two undrafted rookie free agents in John Bullock and Nick Jackson on the depth chart. So Tampa Bay might be tempted to add another veteran linebacker to the mix this season to further bolster the position, just in case David and or Dennis misses some time due to injury. And they'll need more talent at the linebacker position next year. So let's tackle this topic, shall we? The 2026 draft class is going to be crazy good this year at linebacker. Pro Football Focus has 7 off-ball linebackers being drafted before day 3, whereas only 4 linebackers were either a day 1 or day 2 pick last year. 2 outside linebackers figured to be first-rounders in 2026. The Bucs won't have a shot at Buckeye star Arvell Reese, but they may have a chance at Sonny Styles, a fast, rangy coverage linebacker who's a converted safety. Trevor Sikkema has Styles going to the Bucs near the end of the first round in his latest Pro Football Focus mock draft. But there's a chance he could be gone by the time the top 20 ends up rolling around if he times well in the 40-yard dash. Georgia's C.J. Allen is a player I really like. He's super smart, assignment sound. He's a really good blitzer and breaks up a lot of passes at the line of scrimmage on those blitzes when he doesn't quite get there to the quarterback. He's already got 2 forced fumbles, 3 pass breakups, and 3 sacks on the season. Allen, who played with Tyke Smith on the Bulldogs defense, is considered to be a second-round pick in 2026, along with Alabama's Deontay Lawson, Texas's Anthony Hill Jr., and Texas A&M's Torian York, who I also really like. York is a little undersized at 5'10", 227 pounds, but he's super heady and instinctive and pretty good in coverage. LSU's Whit Weeks has been super productive in the SEC and as a tackling machine with good range and coverage. He's got a motor that runs hot and should be gone by the 3rd round. But there are also some really talented linebackers in the Big 12 this year. As a Kansas State grad, I watch a lot of Big 12 football, and Cincinnati's Jake Golday is a real sleeper. He's on Bruce Feldman's freak list at 6'4", 238 pounds, and he's already got 3 sacks on this year. We know that Todd Bowles likes to blitz his linebackers. In addition to 62 tackles, a forced fumble, and a pass breakup, he's got a chance to be a mid-round draft pick with a good 40-yard dash time. Sticking in the Big 12, Texas Tech's Jacob Rodriguez is PFF's top-graded linebacker right now. And there's another one to keep an eye on for a top 25 team, and that's BYU's Isaiah Glasker. Those are some interesting names on day 3. The 6'1", 230-pound Rodriguez had 127 tackles for the Red Raiders last year with 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, including a scoop and score, 4 pass breakups, and an interception. This year, he's got 62 tackles through 5 games, a sack, 2 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, and 4 forced fumbles. The guy's just a turnover machine. Rodriguez began his career as a dual threat quarterback at Virginia before transferring to Tech, where he switched to linebacker. Now, the challenge for Rodriguez will be how long are his arms and the stopwatch. How fast can he run in Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine? He's believed to have 4.7 speed. If he can get into the 4.6 range, then he will be a day 3 pick and possibly a steal like Ivan Pace was for the Minnesota Vikings as an undrafted free agent a couple years ago. Ned Lasker is a monster at 6'5", 240 pounds. He had 70 tackles last year as a sophomore with 14 and a half tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. This year, he's got 31 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, a pass breakup, and another forced fumble. I also like the playmaking duo out there in Pittsburgh. The guys I'm talking about are Rasheem Biles and Kyle Lewis. Both are fast, hard hitters, but both are undersized at around 6'1", 220 pounds. They're kind of built like safeties. But at the same time, that's what was said about Derek Brooks and Lavonte David when they were drafted by Tampa Bay back in the day. Lewis, number 9, had 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions, that's right. 101 tackles, 15 and a half tackles for loss, a forced fumble, 3 pass breakups, and 7 sacks last year at SirVocea Dennis's alma mater. He already has 42 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a pick this year. Biles, who's number 31 in this pick, but is wearing number 3 this year, has got 82 stops, 14.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 9 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and a pick 6 last year. He's already got 53 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a 75-yard pick 6 this year, along with the forced fumble. Okay, that's 12 college linebackers that could help the Bucs next year. And there's like another 10 draftable linebackers that didn't even get to. Remember, Lavonte David will turn 36 in January and will be a free agent next year. Deion Jones will also be a free agent. He turns 31. SirVocea Dennis will be entering a contract year next year, so the Bucs really need to prioritize linebacker in 2026, which is why I'm talking about some of these draftable players. But what about possible trade candidates to help the team this year? If Lavonte David or SirVocea Dennis were to succumb to an injury, and then you'd have Deion Jones have to step in and start, but then it's only 2 rookie linebackers for depth. Miami's season's in a downward spiral, and Dolphins linebackers Jordan Brooks and Terrell Dotson could be available for a day 3 pick. The problem is that neither are particularly good in coverage, especially this year, and that's kind of a prerequisite for playing defense in Todd Bowles' scheme. Although Dotson, who's pictured here, did have 2 good years in coverage in 2023 and 2024, he's just struggled this year. If I were the Bucs, a player I would inquire about is Titans linebacker Cedric Gray, who was a 4th-round pick out of North Carolina back in 2024. He's having a really good year this year, and if he were available for a day 3 pick, I'd pull the trigger because he would help you not just this year, but in future seasons as he's around 23 years of age. But Tennessee needs to keep their best players if they truly want to rebuild, so I doubt he's going to be available. All right, here's one more final name to keep an eye on. That's Anthony Walker Jr. Remember him? He was signed by the Bucs this offseason, and he started next to Dennis during the OTAs when Lavonte David was out. Then an injury cost him all of training camp in the preseason. He's sitting there right now in the Colts practice squad, and if I'm Jason Licht, I keep an eye on him and maybe try to sign him to the active roster at some point this season just for some veteran insurance. Now, Walker's not going to help the team on special teams like John Bullock will. And with all the injuries right now, it would be tough to find a spot for him on the 53. But keep an eye on this move as a potential roster addition after the bye week if the Bucs have an injury at linebacker with Dennis or David. Adding Walker wouldn't cost a draft pick, and we've already seen Jason Licht be super stealthy this year, signing a few players off of other teams' practice squads like defensive tackle Elijah Simmons and guard Dan Feeney. Hopefully, David and Dennis hold up physically throughout the year, but we're not even to the halfway point of the season just yet. The good news is that the linebacker-needy Buccaneers will have plenty of backers to choose from in the 2026 NFL Draft. Don't be surprised if Jason Licht and Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay take advantage of a very deep linebacker class next year and double up on the position come April. We want to double the number of visitors we have on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. We're on the way to 22,000 subscribers. Holy smokes, our growth is super fast thanks to you. If you haven't done so yet, head over to Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel. That's where you can find my Pewter Pulse videos, my Bucs Brightside videos, plus my appearances in the Pewter Report podcast. Hit subscribe. It's free. Also, follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report. And please visit pewterreport.com for breaking news, game coverage, roster moves, and injury news. And I'll be back soon with a new Pewter Pulse.